Chad Dukes versus the world on 106.7. The Fan, thank you for tuning in today. Phone number is 800-636-1067. If you want to get in, you can tweet me also at Chad Dukes. Bottom of the hour, we'll be giving away a pair of tickets to see DC United take on the Philadelphia Union at RFK Stadium September 27th. Tickets are still on sale now. And while we're taking care of some business here, Thursday Night Football is coming to WUSA and NFL Network. The excitement begins Thursday, September 11th, when division rivals, the Pittsburgh Steelers, meet the Baltimore Ravens. Remember, your football week starts every Thursday night, now on CBS and the NFL Network. That's good news. The Ravens, of course, will be without the services of Ray Rice, who is no longer a part of that team. He has been cut. And then furthermore, he has been suspended indefinitely by the NFL. All of this news breaking within the last hour. We're getting responses to it. And again, I want to go back to my original contention that Ray Rice is a troubled individual that needs help. And anybody that thinks that it's over now is a silly goose. This is not something that you just shake off. The NFL handled this completely inappropriately, and the Baltimore Ravens even more so. The Baltimore Ravens knew what Ray Rice did and accepted the 2-game suspension. Teams can hand out suspensions. They had an opportunity to say, hey, you know what? This isn't acceptable from us either. Let's toss another 2 games on top of it. Even that, which I think most people now at this point would think is not enough of a punishment, even that would make them be in a completely different situation right now. Now, at best, they look oblivious. At worst, they look like they were trying to cover up a beating of a woman. It's that terrible. So keep that in mind as you're calling in. I want to go to Mike in Largo. He does not agree with what I've been saying, so I want to give him a chance to say his piece. Hello, Mike. Thank you for the call.
Hey, thanks a lot for the...
Yes?
Hello?
Yeah, you're on the air, sir.
Oh, okay. Thanks a lot for having me. I guess the first thing I wanted to say was that I think that for some reason I'm hearing some like echo or something like that.
Okay, well, you pull yourself together and give me a call back. 800-636-1067. Judging by what he was about to say, it does not shock me at all that he was having that much trouble. Brian in Springfield, you're on the Fan.
Hi, sir. Good afternoon. How you doing?
Hey, man, how are you?
I'm calling right now because I want to make a comparison between what happened with Michael Vick and Ray Rice.
Okay.
When Michael Vick went to jail and he served his time, and he came out with an apology, PETA, alongside society on its own, was forgiving, right?
Okay.
Am I online?
What is going? Are you screening calls in the other room there? Mode. Yes, you're on the air, sir.
Yeah, I feel like there's like an overlap or something. I'm only on my phone talking right now.
800-636-1067. Make sure that doesn't have something to do with the camera being plugged in, please. Thom, I want to make sure these guys can hear. Let's go to Jim in Ashburn. Hello, Jim. You're on the Fan.
Hey, Chad. Thanks for taking my call.
My pleasure.
I like what you're saying. I agree with you. I think it's the timing's a little bit awkward here for Baltimore because this now they're saying, we're going to hold our players to a higher standard and we're going to take action even if the league hasn't. We're going to enforce this higher level of consciousness.
Right.
And it's days after they've unveiled the statue to Ray Lewis. And, not to dredge up really old history, but Ray Lewis was charged and investigated for murder and pled guilty to misleading police officers during their investigation. So, they were the Ravens organization, I think, were very happy while Ray Lewis was dominating on the football field to sort of turn that blind eye. And I just wonder if Ray Rice, his performance has been off the last couple of years, and they had week 1 and their new running back averaged a decent yards per carry. And I don't know. I don't want to be too cynical, but I do think it's really awkward timing when they continue to embrace Ray Lewis, even though he's had his issues, while at the same time saying to Ray Rice, how could you possibly cross a societal norm?
That's an interesting point, Jim, and I think all of those questions, unfortunately, now are on the table, and that Baltimore has done something to bring those upon themselves. What is more troubling is that, again, what seems to be being reinforced here by the league and by the Ravens is not the crime itself. It's not the action. It's because there's backlash. It's because there's video. And look, I think TMZ, what was his name? Harry Levin I think he's a scumbag. The guy, all he does is go around. I mean, it's very devoid of worth what TMZ does, in my opinion, in most cases. I don't generally care for their brand. But if he hadn't done this, if he hadn't purchased this video or acquired this video in any way, shape, or form that he did, we're sitting here with a 2-game suspension for Ray Rice when he did the same damn thing weeks ago that we just saw on the tape. But because it's on the tape, what? You're not allowed to play football anymore? The NFL should let him play football. There's a lot of people writing stories about how the NFL doesn't care about women. And if you want to go ahead and point out your pink month and point out the fact they sell girl-sized jerseys, that's great. But to me, the actions speak louder than the words. And the punishment of the abuse of women is basically the most drastic action that we're talking about here. And until this case, it was very light and very haphazardly tossed around. And when compared to some of the other punishments they were levying for dumb things like smoking weed, who gives a rat's ass, it made them look foolish. This is about PR. This is about money, not anything to do with the NFL's commitment to women. That time has passed. That time has come and gone. Now this is all damage control by them and by this team. Make no mistake. Let's go to Warren out in Leesburg. Warren, you're on the fan.
Thank you, Chad, for having me on.
Man.
I've been listening to everything, and it's just common sense that you have the legal department for the Ravens, you have the legal department for the NFL. Now, when this first initially came out, your legal department would say, okay, we saw that first part of the video where he drops her like a sack of potatoes outside the elevator. Your lawyers are going to say, we need to find out all the videos so we can have a greater perspective over everything. They knew that. So now they're in the awkward position right now where they tried to minimize it, but now they're getting caught with their pants down because this video was obviously seen because when they did the plea bargain, I'm pretty sure that they saw the video then initially. So now what they have to do is, now that they've let him go, they're obligated now, because this is a sickness and a problem that he has. They're obligated to stick with this man and make sure that he gets all the therapy. If it's a lifetime, it's a 2-part thing. So if he's not going to play football anymore, they still have to stick with him. They just can't just let him go and think the problem is going to go away just like that. Now they're committed to him because they obviously this is a circus, a fiasco. They've completely messed this whole thing up.
It is. And here's another thing that people are going to have a hard time swallowing is that the NFL has staff for days. The NFL has investigators on top of investigators because they have to. They have to look into all these infractions. The NFL knows about everything. How could they possibly have not have known about this video? When, again, there were reports of what was on the video, that we know that the law enforcement officials in Atlantic City had the video. The casino had the video. It's going to be a very tough pill for everyone to swallow to just think that they were haphazardly walking into an S-storm, which is basically what they're going to try to sell to us. No, we had no idea. We didn't see this video. Now that we have, he's out of here. Sorry. You got too many savvy people reporting on your very popular product to make me believe that. Malarkey. Pardon my harsh language. All right, Mike's back on the line. Let's give him one more go. Mike in Largo, thank you for calling back. What's going on?
Hey, thanks a lot for taking my call.
Yep.
First of all, I want to say I don't condone what Ray Rice did at all.
Good.
But what I will say is that it's just crazy to me how we expect the NFL to be above the law. They're not above the law. If the law says that this crime, as egregious as it looked, was labeled as a misdemeanor or whatever it initially got knocked down to, and then the NFL has rules that say certain crimes warrant this type of suspension, as much as we hate it, that is the rule. I don't understand why we expect the NFL to do more than the court of law to do. I mean, I know the NFL, everybody says the NFL, playing in the NFL is a privilege, and I don't look at it like that. It's not a privilege. It's a place where if you have the skill to play, they will pick you up. Otis Anderson was in a grocery store. He had the skills to play running back. The Giants picked him up. Wherever they can find talent, they will go to get it. I don't necessarily mean that dictates because they're on TV and they make a lot of money. That
so you're saying because somebody has the ability to do something, they're automatically going to be able to succeed in that field? I completely disagree.
No, not saying that they have. I mean, because of course you got to have hard work and desire, and you got to be given a chance. But I don't think that because we watch these guys on TV, their job is any more of a privilege than as, let's say, a CEO of a company. I mean, you have to work hard to get there as well, just like an NFL player.
Yeah, but
now,
Mike, I appreciate the call. I'm up on it here, buddy. They both are true. I'm sorry, you're mistaken. Both are true. I'm talented enough to do this job. I worked very hard to get here. It's absolutely a privilege. It's absolutely a privilege. Tons of jobs out there. You could make an argument that all jobs are a privilege, and you can get whacked from them for way less than being on a video absolutely destroying a woman. You can absolutely get fired for way less than that. And the rule was wrong, Mike. The rule was wrong. You can say that was the rule. We have to follow the rule. It's wrong. This isn't a court of law. They're a company, and he's one of their employees. They can do with him as they deem fit. And then if he thinks that there's a lawsuit or something else, well, let the cards fall where they may. Let the chips fall where they may. But don't act like Roger Goodell is sitting there with a white powdered wig and a gavel. He is not a judge. He is not a court of law. And he absolutely can do what needs to be done when it comes to toughening up their stance on domestic abuse. And they're going to have to do it again, by the looks of it. I'll do one more segment of your phone calls on this. After that, we're going to try to steer things back to a normal show. But again, if you're just tuning in, not only has he been released by the Ravens, he has been suspended indefinitely. Ray Rice of the Baltimore Ravens. We're taking phone calls on that. 800-636-1067 as Shad Dukes versus the World. Tomorrow.